It isn't uncommon for a fan favorite player from the Lakers to get an extreme amount of hype. Due to the size of the market, media coverage, and intensity of their fans, players that have a small bit of success in LA tend to get prematurely pushed as a great player. However, with Austin Reaves, I think the Lakers fans might actually be onto something here. I saw him play a couple of times for the Lakers this most recent season, and he impressed me. What really has drawn my interest, though, is his performance for the US FIBA National Team. The reason I've been so intrigued by what I've seen is anyone can have a little bit of success if they end up in the right system for them, and maybe that was Reaves and the Lakers. But when you see that same guy still standing out when playing with multiple all-star level guys, that's when you start to think, oh, maybe it isn't just the system, maybe this guy really is legit. So with that, I decided now is as good of a time as ever to evaluate Austin Reaves' game. We're going to look into what he provides on the court and what I think he can truly be in the long-term sense. So let's get right into it. So Reaves has had an unusual path getting to where he is now. He was successful in high school but wasn't heavily recruited, so he ended up going to Wichita State. And while doing fine there, having signs of potential, he never did all that much until his transfer to Oklahoma. There, he had to sit out a year due to NCAA transfer rules at the time, but he came back as a different player. He put on 20 pounds during that time having to sit out, and his final 2 years there he averaged in the high teens for points per game, and won first team All Big 12 as a senior. Despite this, he was considered a streaky shooter with below average athleticism and poor quickness coming into the league, and because of this, he went undrafted. The Lakers picked him up as an undrafted free agent though, and they certainly have not been disappointed with that decision. So let's dive right into what he does well and what he needs to improve on the court. While he was considered a streaky shooter coming into the NBA, Reaves has proven to be incredibly reliable in the most recent season, and only improving as his role grows. Last season, he was putting up 13 points per game and 39% from 3. Then by the time the playoffs hit, he was averaging 17 points per game on 44% from 3. Now, a single postseason can be a small sample size, and I doubt he keeps shooting at that percentage forever. That being said, he has shown he's a legitimate threat from beyond the arc. As of last season, he was 5th in true shooting percentage at 67.7% in the whole NBA, so someone who has been considered streaky and inconsistent is now one of the most consistent shooters in the league, and that is just a testament to how hard Reaves works to refine his game and be the best player he can be. Even putting percentages to the side, one reason I see him as such a consistent shooter is because his shot is picture perfect and he does the same thing nearly every single time. He has a great quick release and follow through, and he does a good job squaring himself to the rim and being ready to shoot at all times. At the bare minimum, he should always be a solid three-point shooter, and that in itself can lead to a long and successful career. As far as shot creation goes, Reaves is generally a well-rounded offensive player, and this is another thing he does well. He's by no means Kyrie Irving with the ball in his hands or anything, and as overused as the word is, the perfect word to describe his offensive game is crafty. He has a good handle, a good read on defender positioning, knows how to move his body and pick his spots, and in turn with this, he's able to find openings in the defense to get off his effective shots from both around the arc and within, as he is a solid mid-range shooter as well. The Lakers use this dynamic of his game a lot during the playoffs in this most recent season. It gives LeBron and AD a break from initiating the offense when Reaves has the ability to take over, and that release valve role is extremely valuable. Efficient shot creators will always have their place in the league, and when you have someone like LeBron on your roster, as superhuman as he is also getting to the point in his career where he can't do it all. So for him to trust Reaves to take over for stretches of the game where he needs to pace himself speaks volumes for how highly LeBron thinks of him. And LeBron has said as much in interviews. All in all, shot creation is a major strength for Austin Reaves. So now on finishing, Reaves has some skill here too, without a doubt. While it's true that he is a below average athlete, so he isn't going to be skying to dunk over anyone anytime soon, his ability to protect the ball on his drives and use both his body and the rim to fend off defenders is remarkable. You'll see in a number of these clips, he will be driving on a much larger defender, but yet he finds a way to get the ball up either off the glass or over the defender's outstretched hand and make a tough shot. His control and ability to adjust to defenders in the air is above average as well. This is where a good degree of his highlights come from. He drives in and attacks a defender much bigger than he is and finds a way to put the ball in the basket over him. It's really impressive how at his size, he probably can be considered a 3-level scorer, as he doesn't really lack in any part of his scoring game. His three-point shooting, his mid-range game, and his finishing all function as effective dynamics of his offensive game. So his passing rounds out his offensive game and basically solidifies his reputation as the definition of a Swiss Army knife role player. If you need him to do it, he can do it. While he definitely isn't a playmaker by trade, he has the ability to do so and has 100% shown it this most recent season. I mean, see for example his huge 36 point, 16 rebound, 10 assist triple-double versus the Nuggets, or his 25 point, 11 assist game versus the Magic. While only averaging 3.4 assists a game during the season, I believe this has more to do with the role the Lakers have him play as opposed to him lacking the ability to play make. They have him in a role where he's a shooter first, while the offense is built around AD and LeBron. And rightfully so, as LeBron is easily a better playmaker than Reaves, and AD is a bigger offensive threat. When Reaves is asked to play make though, his vision and accuracy are pretty good. He can get the ball to teammates in a number of ways, and the real key is how well he moves the ball within the offense. Even as a scorer, he isn't a traditional ball stopper. He makes the right play more often than not. Defensively, where I give credit to Reaves is he isn't a liability. With his below average speed and strength, it would be very easy to get bullied on the defensive end, but he doesn't for the most part. He has a mix of pros and cons here, and some pros are that he's pretty good at not allowing a player to get downhill. He gets in their space and makes it hard for them to get ahead of steam to the rim. This is big for him because he will get out-muscled if he didn't do this. His timing's really good too. He makes some good plays off the help side on occasion and has the ability to slide over and take a charge. On the other hand, he is, like I said, not very strong or athletic, and so he does a good job at compensating for this, but there's only so much you can do, and he does get beat from time to time because of it. Like I said though, the biggest key for him is being good enough that teams can't target him and he can manage to hold his own in the defensive end, which I believe he does. I think the best comparison for Austin Reaves is another player who was underrated coming into the league, being completely disregarded in the draft before thriving in the NBA due to his basketball IQ and refined skill set, and that is Manu Ginobili. Now again, I always need to clarify here in the comparison section, I'm not saying Austin Reaves is going to be as good as Manu Ginobili. Manu was an all-star level player for years and won 4 championships that the Spurs would have struggled to win without him. That would be amazing for Reaves if he ever succeeded at that level. My comparison comes down to play style. I think Reaves at his best could have a game very similar to what Ginobili has. Manu was a fantastic shooter, he was a very smart decision maker. He was never the first choice on offense, but he always delivered when the team went to him. He was a really good release valve for the first option on his team, he was a hard worker on both the offensive and defensive end, and he was a skilled finisher on the inside. I think they both have these traits in common to some degree. Another thing I think they have in common is their impact goes well beyond the box score. I mean, if you look back at Ginobili's career stats, you may not think much of his numbers. They're good, but they're not eye-popping. But then you watch him play and then you realize why he is so highly regarded. He made such a difference on the court with his versatility, and Reaves does much of the same. While not always blowing up the box score, when called upon, he does the job that is needed. These are traits of an elite level role player, and I think that the fact that Reaves has so much in common with a player like Ginobili reflects on how good he can actually be in the NBA long term. In conclusion, I have a good deal of confidence that Reaves will be around for a long time. Am I predicting multiple-time All-Star or anything? No, not at all. I am saying though that don't be surprised if at his best he's a mid to high teen scorer as a third option, either as a starter or off the bench for a long time. What he provides is something that every team wants. A smart player that can do it all at a competent level without needing the ball in his hands to make a positive impact. That is hugely valuable, and all the best teams have a guy like that in their roster. One of the craziest things is he was just a free agent and he re-signed with the Lakers for 4 years, $54 million. That is an absolute bargain. I've been very critical of the Lakers when it comes to how they conduct themselves in trades and free agency. They often throw caution to the wind and just do something because they're the Lakers, and if they screw up, a star will want to sign there to bail them out. Recently though, I really like the moves that they've been making. I think that the trade deadline moves to get Hachimura amongst other players and to get off of Westbrook was good business. The draft was really solid, and now bringing back Reaves on what was one of the best value moves of the whole free agency period. And the Lakers are starting to make all the right moves in my opinion. Reaves was a key piece to retain, and I think everyone will really be able to see how great of a move it was to re-sign him for this value in the coming seasons. But with all that, we come to the conclusion of this video. If you stuck around here to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. I enjoyed making this profile of Austin Reaves and had fun diving in to show why I think he isn't all hype, but he is legitimately a good player in the league. If you like this content, I do a lot of similar stuff on my channel. Things like player profiles, rankings, comparisons, even some NBA history stuff. So if you enjoy any of that, go ahead and give a like and subscribe to keep up with my content. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hey, thanks again for watching this video. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click on one of these videos here to see more.